For years, Yuki Tsunoda has been the fiery outsider in Formula One, a driver whose talent was never in doubt, but whose consistency has always been under scrutiny. When Red Bull finally gave him the chance to step into the senior team alongside Max Verstappen in 2025, it felt like the ultimate moment of redemption. This was his chance to prove everyone wrong, to show that he was more than just a midfield survivor. But what was supposed to be his breakthrough season has spiraled into a nightmare, struggling to unlock the secrets of the RB21, clashing with Liam Lawson on track and watching Verstappen soar to victories while he languishes at the back. Tsunoda's story has taken a dramatic turn, and now with whispers that Red Bull already favours rising star Isack Hadjar for 2026, the question is no longer whether Tsunoda can improve, but whether he will even survive in Formula One. Before we go deeper into this shocking story, make sure you subscribe. This channel is where you'll get the real analysis behind the headlines, insight the teams don't want you to hear. Yuki Tsunoda's Formula One story in 2025 is one that swings between opportunity and disaster, between promise and frustration. For 5 seasons, he's battled perceptions that he's too raw, too inconsistent, and perhaps too fiery to make it at the very top. Yet when Red Bull finally gave him the golden ticket promotion into the senior team alongside Max Verstappen, this was supposed to be the redemption arc. It was his long-awaited chance to silence critics and prove that Japan could once again have a true phone star. But instead of thriving, Tsunoda has stumbled into the most punishing role in motorsport: Verstappen's teammate. The numbers tell a story that is hard to defend. Max Verstappen sits on 230 points after 16 rounds, chasing victories and podiums as usual. Tsunoda, meanwhile, has collected just 12 points. And what's even more damning, 3 of those came before he was even promoted back, when he was still driving for Racing Bulls. In the supposedly superior Red Bull machine, he has managed only scrap. The gulf between him and Verstappen is bigger than the one that cost Sergio Perez his seat last year, and we all saw how quickly Red Bull moved on from Perez when patience ran out. Monza was perhaps the clearest snapshot of Tsunoda's struggles. In qualifying, he was nearly 8/10 slower than Verstappen in Q3, a lifetime in phone terms. On Sunday, Verstappen stormed to his 3rd win of the year, while Tsunoda limped home in 13th, over 80 seconds behind. Yes, he picked up floor damage in a clumsy clash with Liam Lawson, but excuses rarely softened Helmut Marko's judgment. The Red Bull advisor was quick to call the incident incredibly stupid and questioned why Tsunoda seemed unable to extract pace from the car at all. For a man whose words often decide careers, those comments rang like alarm bells. The irony is painful. Earlier this season, Red Bull had controversially chosen Lawson to step up to the senior team over Tsunoda. Lawson lasted just 2 weekends, struggling badly before the swap was made. Tsunoda, with far more experience, seemed the logical option all along. But instead of flourishing, he now looks like another victim of the infamous second seat curse. Gasly, Albon, Perez each was broken by the impossible task of keeping up with Verstappen. Tsunoda, once meant to prove that the curse could be lifted, has instead reinforced the myth. Behind the scenes, the politics are just as unforgiving. Red Bull's driver academy is overflowing with talent. Isack Hadjar has emerged as the most talked about candidate for 2026, and whispers inside the paddock suggest he may already have been told the seat is his to lose. Arvid Lindblad is coming fast through the ranks, and the team knows it cannot afford to waste momentum on a driver who doesn't deliver. With Honda's exit from Red Bull looming at the end of this year, Tsunoda also loses his most powerful sponsor and political shield. Without Honda pushing his case, he becomes far easier to cut loose. Yet not everyone at Red Bull is ready to dismiss him. Team principal Laurent Mekies has repeatedly defended him, highlighting positive trends in recent races. He pointed to a return to the points at Zandvoort, closer qualifying gaps in Budapest and Spa, and argued that progress is happening even if slowly. Mekies insists that Tsunoda is capable of more and deserves the time to show it. But words of support from a team boss only mean so much when the scoreboard remains this lopsided. Even Tsunoda himself seems caught between hope and resignation. His tone with the media has grown increasingly flat, as if he knows his future is out of his hands. After Monza, when asked whether he was doing enough to stay in phone, he simply said, "It's not easy, but you just have to do it." He talks about believing in himself, about small improvements in qualifying pace, but there is no great defiance, no fiery vow to prove everyone wrong. It's as though he already knows the decision lies elsewhere, likely in Marco's hands and in Hadjar's rising performances. Franz Tost, his former boss at AlphaTauri, may have delivered the most cutting assessment of all. He praised Tsunoda's natural speed but criticized his lack of diligence, claiming that Yuki never worked hard enough to understand why he was slower than his teammates. In Tost's view, Tsunoda relied too much on raw talent and not enough on relentless study of data or adaptation. And in Formula One, where margins are razor thin and Verstappen sets a near-perfect standard, that gap in diligence is the difference between survival and oblivion. The broader problem, of course, is the Red Bull second seat itself. It has become the most cursed job in the sport. The car is built around Verstappen, tuned to his unique driving style and merciless on anyone who cannot adapt. Perez couldn't survive it. Gasly and Albon were destroyed by it. And now Tsunoda looks to be following the same trajectory. For fans, the question becomes, is Tsunoda really failing? Or is Red Bull's system designed to chew through drivers until only one man stands tall? Still, Red Bull's patience is not infinite. If Tsunoda cannot deliver a breakthrough performance in the remaining races, something spectacular that forces the team to take notice, then his days may be numbered. The final decision will likely come before the season's end, as Marco has hinted. And if Hadjar continues to shine in the Racing Bulls, that decision may already be made in all but name. For Yuki Tsunoda, the dream season has become a nightmare. He entered 2025 hoping to prove that he could thrive at the highest level. Instead, he finds himself staring down the possibility of an early exit, perhaps even an abrupt end to his phone career. Unless he can turn things around quickly, the young Japanese star may soon be remembered not as the man who conquered Red Bull's curse, but as its latest victim. So, I'll leave you with this. Is Yuki Tsunoda simply another casualty of Red Bull's brutal system? Or is he still capable of a miracle turnaround in the final races of 2025? And if he does lose his seat, could we see him resurface with another team? Or is this truly the beginning of the end?